What's going on, traders? Welcome back to day 22 of 25 days of trading. Now, if you saw yesterday's video, it was about the only indicator that you need being the VWAP. And I want to show you how cleanly you can find bounces off of this VWAP when you're trading the New York Open on either ES or NQ. I like to watch both assets. But let's go over our Friday here as we caught nice longs on stream. So if you want to tune into there, you can get a free month down below. Just use code FIRST. But normally you'll see on stream, we're not trading in that first 15 minutes, right? We want to see the noise shake out. Who's going to be in control today? What side do we break first, right? I don't want to chase the first break of open range low. You'll see that when you go through Futures 2.0, which I said is down below. It often doesn't run very far, but it is a nice indication of maybe who's in control to start the session. So far, it looks like buyers, and they're showing the strength to make a new high outside that opening range. Okay, great, but we're not going to chase that. I want to find bounce plays. If you see my strategy or not, and if you've seen any of these YouTube videos, my strategy is basically a pullback strategy, right? It's heavily used around VWAP, but it's basically coming for a pullback. I want to trade the next bounce back higher in the trend. I'm never really chasing these breakouts. I want to see the move slow down. I'll get back in before it gears back up again, right? Slow back down. I'll trade it back up the next time, right? Because I don't want to be chasing something that already moved from this line in this VWAP, where if you've seen yesterday's video, you'll see as to why. But this is what we had on our Friday. We let the first open range, like I said, break happen on the high. It pulls back to VWAP. Now, it's pretty solid that I'm a buyer today. It's been nothing but buyers above this New York VWAP. So the thing to do is see that buyers hold control of this VWAP, right? You don't want to play the bounce on the bottom of that candle. You want to see it actually bounce. Buyers defend this level. We could take a look at markups just earlier in this week. It doesn't have to bounce off this VWAP. So I want to make sure that it's trying to, right? So your first long would be, I guess, very aggressively there if you know you love the shorts. But even if it's up there, you're going to have a stop loss probably pretty big down here because you want to, or at least somewhere just not at this current structure, because you don't know if it's the last time it's done touching that New York VWAP, which it wasn't. Similar how it's not just one pin later on. But if I could scalp moves from here, I could catch these small little moves back up to the high. Being that it's a pullback strategy, I want to trade back to somewhere we've already been, back to current or previous structure, right? So if we have a higher high up here and we pull back, I want to go trade back into it. We pull back, I want to go trade back into those highs for longs, right? And then down to the lows for shorts. But you definitely don't want to be long when it's breaking close to that high. Because if I'm trying to trade it back to that high, let's just throw a pin on it. This is going to be my trade. That little move there, not really worth it. Yes, it could definitely break out. And on strong trending moves, that will easily be fulfilled for new highs and you make money. But most consistently, when it turns around slowly, and it slowly buyers higher, you don't want to get caught buying it a little bit too high just because you're eager and afraid you're going to miss the move. If you miss it away from VWAP, if you could show some patience, it returns back down. Gives you another opportunity. If you missed it back down here, you could try it again. Same thing. Stop loss in the middle of range and trade it back to the highs. I also made a risk reward video on this series that if you go, let's say you do buy it here, what's to the high? To this pin high here. A perfect 1R there would be a stop loss here, but maybe you went a little bit wider. That's 0.8R. The whole point of that video, as you guys saw, it doesn't matter. I'm getting out at the highs. Does it go a little bit higher? Sure. 40 minutes later, I could just try to trade it again later. So I have to get out at those highs playing the bounce play. If you're not playing the bounce play, then I guess get out wherever you are. But you know there's going to be multiple pullbacks in the trend, right, that you could always see it pull back, trade it back higher. See it pull back, scalp it a little bit higher. So I'm not going to marry one move all day, but this is on the Friday, right? Clean longs all above VWAP, but the best moves happen from there. Thursday was an absolute chop fest. I have a video on that day as well. But you can just see the power of it on these bounce plays. If we just rewind and go back to, I think it was this Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday, you see sellers take control, move away from VWAP. You've probably already seen this markup if you've seen any of these videos. But same thing here. You're not going to just sell it above it. You want to see it actually start to slow. Sellers are defending this level. I know they could, and they're showing me that this time they are trying to. So now I want to short it back down. See how well sellers are slowing here, really defending that. All right, now I'm comfortable playing the bounce play from there. If I could just find these great prices from the highest price out of VWAP, right? So in this case, let's rewind that a couple more bars. If we go back to here, not that you can't sell it here, but it's been a minute. Again, you definitely could sell. You say, I love shorts today. This could be a great sell price. I can get a great stop loss above. But you could also say, let me see if sellers really hold this thing and send us back lower. All right, not yet. I'm not in yet. We're still kind of above it. But if they get back below, it's going to look like a nice hold. Okay, yeah, sellers are now holding that VWAP. They at least tried to hold it, so let me get in now. Stop loss isn't going to be at current structure here. Let's clear all these drawings. Stop loss isn't going to be at current structure right at this lower high. Give it back room to this previous lower high here. And what did I say earlier? Trading it back towards, or sometimes maybe to previous structure. That's going to be way down here. For this high of a trade, that would technically be 1.7R. I don't need that whole giant move. If I can get 15 points, risking 15 points, beautiful. I'm out here. Now, on a day where it breaks for a new low of day, you're like, oh, what a terrible exit. I got out so early. But on days when it fails to make a lower low, like that just did, I don't want to be greedy for this giant move. I'm looking to find bounce plays from here. My job isn't to claim the whole New York session and make a whole new lower low every single time. Because even if you go back to this trade, if I need it to make a new lower low or just greediness and I'm short around this VWAP and you hold it needing a new low, why? You just made 15 points on a day that the opening range itself was 24. So that's a pretty decent move. That's like 3/4 of the opening range you just made in 10, 15 minutes. So don't get greedy with these bounce plays. You can see how well they present and how often they can present. So if you find one, scalp it nice and quickly. You can get out, look for another opportunity, and sell the bounce again. Maybe sell the bounce again if you're still around at the desk, right? But this whole thing being caught up, reading the trend easily on these clean days, right? But just not chasing breakouts, not chasing higher highs or lower lows for shorts, right? If you can see this level be respected, that's the key word of it. If you see it being respected, okay, I'm going to try the bounce play. I'm going to try it. It looks like we're bouncing off of it. Let's play this because I know this could be a really great price. Now, can I buy it up here on this higher low there or this higher low there? You could, right? Some of it makes money today. I guess it doesn't really. If you somehow perfectly bought it there, floating off of nothing and scalp that up, sure. Good luck doing that consistently day in and day out. But if I can get the nice low price at VWAP, no matter what the day is or how strong of a move it is, I'm confident I could scalp money just back to the highs or a little bit of a move from this line, right? So make sure you guys check it out. I have my full strategy available on ASFX TV, like I mentioned earlier. You guys all get your first month free with the link down below. And that's also where we live stream every day, these bounce plays and the breaks play. We just go here real quick. You'll see, we went over the bounce today. There's also a break play in there. I added 2 new chapters, maybe even 3 new chapters in the update in the beginning of December. So make sure you check that out. Like I said, it's free. So no harm, no foul. Check it out. And I'll see you guys on stream tomorrow morning.